Hey everyone, I just want to make a quick little intercut before the video begins. I just wanted to say that if this video is released as soon as I can get it out, don't expect that constantly. I know I just released a video very recently, and then there's this one coming up pretty quickly right afterwards. Like I said in my welcome back video, my schedule for uploading is going to be sporadic here and there. The only reason this one's coming out as quickly as it is because I had an idea in mind, and when I woke up today I got to work right away. So this is going to be a tutorial, as the thing says, of how to use the sports templates, NHL template, and so I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm going to kind of go through a brief idea of how I use the template. So without further ado, let us get into it. Alright, so here we are on the template, as you can see in Photoshop, and so I'm just going to go through some quick things. The C I've made a little larger than the template provides. I add a shoulder patch to the template and the number, or hashtag there for the numbers. As you can see, as I'm circling now, my colors that I use all the time for my channel, at least now, they're my current channels. This template's super easy to use. It's just drop-down menus. It's very easy. As you can see, you just click it, open up. It's a smart object. Whatever you edit here and save, you move on. But I'm going to start on the shoulders just because of the idea I had in mind. So there's my kind of images and whatever else I'm using. So basically what I do is I always just bring in logos or whatever and I resize them. Something I forgot to do right away is I normally rasterize the image, because as you can see, it doesn't really meet the outside of that line. So I go over here, I rasterize it, and you can make the logos bigger. You don't have to do that. I just prefer to do it. I like to have the edges of the shape be the things that define the size. The main jersey ideas behind this one were, it was inspired by the original, or the last looking Team Canada design, the one with the maple leafs, as you'll see, because I'm bringing in these paw prints for a specific reason. It's also inspired by, say, like the Edmonton Oilers' new home jersey, that navy blue alternate that they used for years. Because the main jersey, the home jersey, as you'll see, I made a home and away. The home jersey here is like a two-tone nearly. It has 3 colors, but it's very, very simple. And then you'll see around as well. Eventually, I'll go and pick a color out of Seattle. It's honestly really cool. So, and then there's a little bit of Ottawa Senators in this jersey as well, as you'll see. Not too much. Obviously, the logo I use is my little shoulder patch there. Before obviously I put the Stay Positive patch, was a custom Senators patch you may have seen on one of my previous Senators templates. So basically, I just go through, recolor it, and then you'll see me zoom in, and I'm like, those paw prints look pretty good. So I'm going to get onto the line, and you see me there counting how many squares on the grid the paw prints come over. Just for later on, you'll see me do it again as well. But here you see me come in, and then I'll bring over all this stuff. First off, I always, if I have something that goes well beyond the workspace, I will select the entire workspace, copy it, so that that layer only takes up the workspace. It just makes my life a lot easier because I do stuff like this. You just drag and drop over. In this case, it was easy as rotating the layers. You line it up, you hit enter. You'll see me drop those below that little levels thing. I don't know if that actually matters. I just always like having everything below that. And then you hit save, you close that, you can close that, and away you go. Something you'll see me do later on is I'll swap one of those shoulder patches, just because I don't, as you know, I don't really like asymmetrical shoulder patches. So onto the sleeve. This is where you'll see a lot of the Team Canada influence coming in. So I add a new layer. I call it pause, which will change eventually. And then you'll see me bring in that shoulder patch, or that paw print thing. I'm confused as to what I was doing there, so you'll see me use that thing I counted out earlier. 3.5 was roughly the size of the block, and you'll see me go back out and just double check 3.5. Honestly, this template's super easy to use. I'm super glad it exists. I think they're a lot cooler than like the 2D templates you can use. Sports Template is not sponsoring this video. It'd be amazing if they were, to be honest. I just really like their template, and I've seen online a lot of people want to know how to use it. So you'll see me open up that banner add-on thing again. I'll drop the paw prints in. And then I make it bigger, I size it up, make it look real nice. Honestly, I love these paw prints, this pattern. Obviously, I incorporated it into my branding a lot more since the rebrand to the blue. If you were paying attention at all to my branding before, it was just black and white, very simple, very clean. And that is something I like a lot, is a very simplistic, minimalistic look. But I wanted to add a bit more color. So basically, you're just seeing me here rearrange everything, kind of make it work. And then you'll notice me go, oh crap, I didn't include the stripes I wanted to include. So here with the number in place, I go in, and this is the Senators inspiration, the stripes hovering over the number. So there it is. Two blocks is what I use for the Senator striping. On anytime I design the Senators jersey, because I do often currently make the current Senators look just on my computer, just for fun. It's a super easy jersey, and then you'll see me color it in on the layer. But back to what I was saying, I wanted more color in my branding, because you saw me use more color. You saw me use black and gold a lot before for me, but that didn't really fit the logo, so I rebranded to have blue, and unfortunately it's the Toronto Maple Leafs blue, but it's a really nice blue, so it worked out. So there you saw me cut out the paw prints in that shape of the little paw backer, as you can see the layers called, and then I just grab my darker blue that I use for my accent color. I make my brush bigger, I paint it in, and when you deselect it, you get those ghosted paw prints. It is honestly one of my favorite looks for me, for my channel, for everything like that. So super happy with how that looks, honestly. You'll see me go back and make the shoulders bigger at one point, just because I know that ended up being something I wanted the paw prints to match on. You'll see me here. I was like, I actually don't want the paw prints in that center stripe. I don't want the numbers to be sitting on them. I just want the little bit of stroke to cover them. So I think that is sick. So you see me here renaming it. So that's paw backer. And then layer 1 will be renamed paws, as you can see me doing right now. If it wasn't clear, I recorded this first and did the audio over it. The main reason for that is I just wanted to be able to edit it and cut stuff out without losing some commentary. So here you see me adding a gold stroke to that. I turn off the grid. I absolutely love it like that. And so I save it, I hop over, and then I wasn't originally going to have the gold on the outside. As you can kind of see, I'm kind of looking at it there. I'm like, actually, no, I really like that. So I make a plan later on to go back and edit the shoulder. But first off, I need to add the number. I really, really like how that looks with the ghosted paw prints. On the white version, it's actually really neat. That's why I go back and add a Seattle color. You'll see me do that later on. Not really sure why I'm floating here. I don't even think me in the recording knew what I was doing. So I close that, I open the sleeve up, and then I get I go through, I add my text. So as you guys know, on my previous jersey designs, my custom football, my custom NHL jersey before, my number is 15. That's a combination of, it's a number I used when I was on my school baseball team. It was the number of Danny Heatley, who when I started watching hockey became my favorite player. So there's a few reasons I use 15. You can see me sizing the white of the number to the white of the hashtag. I click gold. I do a quick little stroke. 20 pixels is usually what I define as a good number, a good outline for the template. It's the same width as the gold outlines there, and then all you see me do is here, and I shift it over, and that little line is the middle of the sleeve, or what would be like the side of your arm kind of thing, where the number actually would sit. I turn off the grid, and we go ahead and save eventually. I just taken a look at it. Looks good. The white numbers, honestly, at first I thought were going to look a little weird. There's not too much white on this jersey, but I figured the white in the number balances the white in the logo, balances the white on the chest, which will eventually be there. And now, adding a second sleeve, once you have the first one, you basically just select all the layers you want to bring over. At least that's how I do it. I drag them over, drop them on. Super simple, super easy. I invert the width. As you can see me there just double checking that it worked. You drop the corner right in there, and then you bring everything, the grid below, and you'll notice, hey, the number's backwards. You just take that, you invert the width once more, check mark that. You can hit enter. I don't know why I always go for the check mark, and then you just save it. And then since I already know it lines up perfectly, you just close, and there are your sleeves. Looks honestly so good with this design, the ghosted lines and the paw prints. I was really inspired by Team Canada for the sleeves. And then I wanted that kind of Senators double stripe going around. So a couple teams obviously do that, but with the striping where it is Senators inspired, but you could also consider it like LA Kings. So here you can see me adding my little logo to the back of the collar. I make it a little smaller. It doesn't really matter how big. I just wanted it just in there. I center it out. As you can see, it kind of snaps into place. I confirm it. I turn that off, and you save it and close it. And then you have yourself with the little paw print in the back of the thing. And the only reason I'm doing that is you can see the NHL crest on the collar. I get rid of that. I don't have it sitting on the collar. I had my logo there. I liked the blank look of the collar. Real quick, you can see me on the torso. Just make it blue. This one was pretty. This is where I was kind of experimenting. I didn't know if I wanted to have anything across the bottom. So you can see me kind of playing around with like, do I want it to be that thick or that thick? In the end, I actually I didn't go with it, but you'll see me decide that later throughout this. So I bring in the paw prints once again. I should just honestly have that as an exported file, but it's easier just kind of dragging it as a layer. It takes the same amount of time, honestly. You'll see me make a mistake here. Hit Control T while the area is still selected. I go, crap. So I make a new layer, I believe. Yeah, there's the new layer. I add my blue, and then I just color it in. I change the name to Paw Backer. Just name your layers, people. It honestly helps. You'll see me sometimes not do it if I ever do this again, but it helps so much. As if you can see in the little layer thumbnail what the layer is, you don't necessarily need to, but it's a good practice to have, is name your layers. It helps so much in the long run. If you're looking for a specific layer, it is a lifesaver. You're like, rather than have X1 V3 whatever else. And so I'm not really commentating on what you see here because you've already seen me do it. You see me space out the things, copy the layer, make it sure it's only in the workspace, add the color, then you see me here go add the stroke to the backer card. In that, I was like, I already kind of don't like it, but let's see how it looks on the template. For some reason, sometimes saving takes forever. And then, yeah, you can already, look at that compared to what without it. It honestly looks so much better. Maybe on the away jersey, I could have done that and gotten away with it. But honestly, I really like how the jersey looks as is for both. So you see me, just contemplating it, and I really didn't like it. No, so yeah, you see me go swing over it out. I'm like, I don't like that. I want to get rid of it, so I just delete it. I save, and then I close this layer eventually. Sometimes it takes forever to save even the basic things. And that looks so much better. Super clean. Even the sleeves, the little tiny bit of detail on the sleeves. You see me here zoom in on the shoulder. I was like, do the paw prints match in size? And no, the ones on the shoulder are a lot smaller, so I want to make them a lot bigger. And then I want to add the gold stroke right there along the edge. So basically I open up that top shoulder, I grab the paw prints, and I just expand them to, honestly, this was a guess. So they might not match perfectly. I basically just matched it until the paw print right next to the logo there hit the edge of the screen, and it worked out perfectly. So they're not perfectly sized together, but they look close enough, honestly, that I was happy with it. So that looks great. As you can see me doing a little celebratory spin. I don't actually do that, but I wanted to have a little bit of character in the video, so there it is. There's my duplicate. I renamed them pause. A better fit, I think, is what I ended up typing. Honestly, I'm looking at a shrunken down version of the screen because I have Adobe Auditions open. That's what I'm recording with. Just so I wanted to make sure no issues happened with my recording. So I already know what happened here, so I made the size. I kind of just messed around with a thick random stripe here, and then I went, oops, that's on the paw print layer. I kind of realized that as I went over to turn off the grid, so I Control-Z'd that, made a new layer on top of the paw prints, confirmed it, which I'm now noticing is slightly see-through at the end, but you don't really notice it as the color comes back. So then you do that, and then I'm like, whoa, that's way too thick. So I go back in, I Control-T it, or Control-D it, deselect, and then I just kind of bring it down with the select tool, and then, hey, that's almost perfect. So it's just slightly too thin in that little left side. So I go back in, I like bring it up 3 to 5 taps of the arrow key, and then, hey, you know what? It looks a lot better. It's not perfect, but it'll work for the long run. It's just meant to be a quick template, quick like 30-ish minute video of how to do these. It was honestly supposed to be shorter, to be honest, but so there you see me go back in, go like that. So it was supposed to be shorter. It was just supposed to be the one jersey design, but I ended up wanting to be like, so how do I make an away jersey? It's pretty easy. So there you go, see me flip the width. The paw prints are now facing the correct direction. And then you'll just see me notice, drop that so that the gold is below the workstation. So you'll see me sometimes often do that. Like I'll clear the workstation to have a better shape, or I'll keep certain things there in case on the other shoulder, because for some reason the other shoulder isn't exactly the same. But you see me here, I'm like, actually, rather than lower the entire thing because the thickness works otherwise, I just kind of select an area, hit delete, realize, oh, oops, not on one layer, delete it, and I save it, and then I check, and I'm like, it's still a little too thick there, so I hop back over, take off too much here, I believe it was. And then, so I save it, go back over, go, yeah, took too much. So I grabbed the marquee tool, which you can move any selection with the marquee tool. I moved it up a little bit, deleted some, and honestly, that's perfect. The left shoulder is the better one of the two. It does get a little weirdly thick just above the C there, as you can see, but above the captain's letter, as you can see. But honestly, look at that. That jersey is amazing. So next up is the collar. For some reason, I was really insistent on centering it there. I remember that. I was sitting there and I went, I want to center this. So I decided, hey, I want a laced collar. So I opened that up. Gold laces, of course. Gold's the accent color. So for the metal rivets, I do that darker blue, and then the main V-neck, I do the lighter blue. I turn that off entirely because I don't need it. That's just what's holding the NHL crest, and then I do that for the nice, simple, clean-looking collar. I then go back down to main collar edge there. As you can see, that turns gold. Front part you don't need. I just leave it as is because the one on the lace collar is covering it. I'm trying to decide here. Do I want to do a collar? I turn them off because I decide no. I decide, does the dark collar look better? No, the lighter one does. As a joke, I clicked it on gold, went nope. So did that, and then something you never see me do is usually I just turn off the grid, turn the background color to black, and leave the Adidas sign. Since I'm not doing an NHL jersey, I decided not to. There you go. See me make that black. Go to the grid. Type in my make the font way too big. So I turn it down to 20 font just so I can see what I'm typing. And then I just decided to start typing. You can see me trying to change the color. Go, I'll just type it first and change the color afterwards. Doesn't really matter. So Colepaw design and 2021, I believe I may add. Yes. So just that's just honestly a way of securing a watermark on it without actually putting a watermark in case for some reason someone decides to steal my jersey design. It's pretty symbolic to me. I don't know why anyone would, but you know, can never be too sure. So I just shrink that down a little bit, make it fit, and then I'm gonna play around with the stroke. As you can see, I'm like, nope, way too thick. What is going on there? So I try half that. Still a little too thick for my liking, so I go about half. I do 3, and that I'm like, yeah, that looks all right. It's still a little too thick for me, the white, but you don't honestly notice it in the actual design. So I just kind of went with what I went with. So we closed the collar, and now it's time to put the logo on. So you'll see me kind of play around with the C. I'm not actually going to have the C because there's only going to be one jersey of this ever. It's just for me. So no point for captain's logo or captain's letter. But I use it for the sizing, so I turn it back on. So I drag in the jersey version of my logo, and as you can see, my computer like froze. And I was starting to lose my mind. I was like, oh no, no, no. But it went in, and you know, I did that. I rasterized the logo because I realized I didn't do that before. I put it on top of the your logo here, turned off that layer anyway, and then I Control T'd it again. So you'll see me play around with the size. I'm like, right about there is good, and then so that the second line here is normally where I put the I highlighted it to make sure I talked about it. That second line there is usually where I put circular logos, say for like the Islanders or something. Is like as a test. Like this is like, will this size work? Does it look good? And honestly, it's a little small for my liking. So like even looking at it, I took a quick second. As you can see, I sat there for a few seconds. I looked at it. Went, that honestly is a little small. But it looks good. I like it. But as you can see, it's like, what if I dropped it down a little bit? So I turn on the grid. Control T it, and I just increase it by 2. You can see me hovering there at 3 for like half a second. 3 lines down, there you go. So I'm counting 4. If I don't like it, I'll go 3. But I save it. I go back, and honestly, it's a little big, but it looks super good. So I kept it. It's honestly a little smaller than like the current Senators logo width wise, and that's kind of what I was going for like width. I didn't want it to be much bigger than that, but that honestly, it's a good size. It fits. It looks good. So I went with it. So then I close that, and then I file save and export. So we'll just okay, and then so I said, you know what? I want to see what this would look like in white. So I go back. And I click on the NHL colors. For some reason, I really wanted to close Anaheim. I even scrolled up to close those ones, but I decided against it. So I was like, where's Seattle? I'm like, if I scroll up, it's going to go away. So I just click it. I want that ice blue, that beautiful kind of lighter blue that they use on that main chunk of the sleeve. So I go back in. I just right-click, add item to group, foreground color, and that gives me the ice blue. And that's going to come in handy, and it's going to look really good. So I go in. I was like, you know what? I click on this, and I was like, wait, what am I doing here? So I save it. That one took forever. I don't know why. And then I went through. I went make that white, make the other venting panel white. You go in here, make this white. So I click on the background color. I make that white. It's so simple to use these templates, guys. Honestly, once you have the logo in there, and then I just didn't want to turn off the logo, so I just made it ghosted. I turned down the opacity, and it looks fine in the back of the collar there. So turn off the torso. We are done. Turn on the sleeves. This one's really easy. It's just a matter of recoloring. So you'll see me select the paw print layer, hit the selection tool, inverse it so it's only selecting the paw prints. Click on that beautiful ice blue, and then this is where I noticed my brush has a little soft layer, so I went over it about 100 times. Went onto that, hit the white. So that's the backer card I just selected, obviously, and out. So that I could have just deleted the backer card one and just used the background color, but I wanted to make sure that I did it properly, and so I had an extra layer. It doesn't really matter. Select that main blue and save with the numbers being blue. obviously the inverse of the home jersey. And those ghosted paw prints in that ice blue, a little more visible than on the dark version, but honestly, I don't really care. I really like how it looks, so obviously I just go to the other sleeve, go, oh, I'm on the blue, so click that. Go over to the paw prints, do the same thing, select the outer layer, inverse, so that it's selecting the paw prints now. And color in the paw prints. As you can see, I just do a couple more layers of paint. And then select the white, click, and then go down, select the background, click it to white, save, and then close. It's super, super simple, super easy to use these templates, guys. Honestly, anyone can do it. And making away jerseys is the easier version, especially if you're just going with, hey, I'm just going to use the home jersey design, but make it white, like a lot of teams in the NHL do. So there you can see me, select the background, inverse to select the paws, color in the paw prints. Super, super easy, guys. Honestly, everybody can use this template if they're shown how to. Super excited with it, and I cannot stress how much it actually is so easy, so fun to use. And then I just save it, move across, and hey, that looks really good. The paw prints are actually pretty sized in that size, in the with the ice blue on the white, you can actually tell. So it's super simple, guys. Like I said before, you just inverse, you color in, you're set to go. You turn the background color to white, and you save, and away you go. Super simple, super easy, super happy with this template. If it wasn't for post to post, I wouldn't know about it. I'm like, wow, that looks so good. So I go to the main color, I keep the color edge gold, don't need the front part, scroll all the way down to the color, base color. I'm like, do I want to keep it blue? No, I'll make it white. And I even tempted, I was like, ice blue? No, white. Because I realized white will look better overall with the thing. So I close that, I scroll to that. I'm like, let me do the color first just to finish that. So then the laces stay gold, the metal rivets, I make the ice blue, just that darker accent color, of course. Make the V-neck white, and then of course the little neck thing there that would normally hold the NHL crest white as well. And we get the torso. Actually, I was like, that looks a little weird. That white matte, I don't know, for some reason it looked a little blue to me, like as if I was using the ice blue as a base layer. So I turn it off, and then just make the background version of that white. The only thing I do here is I add the the ice blue, and just to the edge, just to add a little bit of depth to the thing. Even before I close it, I'm like, I go over to make sure it looks good. It kind of has a silver look to it with the way that layer is on the jersey, and I kind of liked that. So overall, just looking at it, absolute beaut of a jersey. And then I don't know what I'm doing here. Oh, right. So this is something you'll notice at the end of the video when I have my little display page. I select all the layers of the paw print and I invert the height. I originally do it on this one because the one on the right shoulder is facing forward. But I decided I didn't like that. I don't know if it was just like the way the paw prints were, like they looked more like they were going towards the neck, and I didn't really like that. But I really like how the on the left shoulder the paw print goes towards the back. So I went, okay, I'll go in there and do it on this side. So there you go. See me selecting all the layers. Control T, invert the height, and hit OK. And then you just, and I think that looks so good. That honestly to me is better. Symmetrical. Aside from lettering, logos are much better. And then you won't see me do it, but I do it on the home jersey as well. So I'm sitting there looking at it. Do I love this? This is it. This is amazing. Oh my god. That's my excitement wiggle. And then I file, save as. Alright guys, so as you can see here with the display of both jerseys, this is really, really pretty. I made this really neat little background thing for it. So home and away, so there you can see, like I said, the the shoulder patch on the right shoulder on the dark jersey is reorganized, fits there better. I love how these look together. Honestly, they're so amazing. There's nothing I would change about them. They are, to me, perfect. I love them. As the new iteration of the Cole Paw Designs jersey, this time featuring a shoulder patch, which isn't usually something I like on my own personal jerseys. Usually I just use my signature as the logo and we're set. But I think this looks amazing. So, like I said, clear inspirations were Team Canada, the Ottawa Senators, the Edmonton Oilers on the home jersey for that two-tone. Winnipeg Jets, kind of in the sleeve, how like the numbers in between striping. I don't know. I really like how this looks, and the main point of this this video was how do I, as a jersey designer, use the Sports Templates NHL 2.0 design template, and that's pretty much it. This is how I do it. It's a little different for NHL jersey wise. I'll say go into the NHL jerseys and I'll look at their history and see what they've done and whatever else. And like if I'm doing a full rebrand, I may not do that. I may just go, hey, this is a team called the Tampa Bay Lightning. Let's add some lightning bolts here and there. Or for the Senators, I kind of have my own ideas of what the Senators should do. So depending on what I'm doing. The original idea for this video is I was going to give you guys a sneak peek at what I'm calling the Rivals series. And I decided against it for the main part is I wasn't sure what team I would do for it. So I decided, hey, you know what would be really cool if I did my own jersey? And so how do I use the Sports Template NHL 2.0 design template? I used it like this. I hope this kind of helped you guys out, showed you how a designer that constantly makes designs, whether or not he's posting them or not, designs them and uses this template. I hope that helped you out a lot. This honestly was a ton of fun to do. Really quick, I basically woke up and had the idea, let myself wake up a little bit. I didn't just instantly get up and record, but had a ton of fun with this, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like and a comment down below. Subscribe if you're not already. Share it to your friends if you know they want to get into this and maybe need that little bit of how do I do this. And until next time, guys, stay positive and have a great day.